Under the bright lights of an arena humming with anticipation, two men, two nations, prepare to collide in a battle of poise, precision, and pride. On one side stood Lyndon King Arthur, representing Manchester, England, the reigning IBO light heavyweight champion. His walk to the ring was a journey through shadows and spotlight, a rising hero carrying the hopes of a city that believed in his jab, his composure, and his quiet resilience. On the other side came the machine, Dmitry Bivol, the undefeated, unshakable WBA super light heavyweight champion. Calm, disciplined, expressionless, he walked toward the ring as if stepping into another day at work. A master of the jab, a master of distance, a master of control. Tonight, their roads finally crossed under the global glare. From the opening announcements, the tension laced the air like electricity. Arthur raised his gloves, soaking in the cheers of the British faithful. Bivol merely nodded, stone-faced, as though the result of the night had already been calculated in his mind. As referee instructions echoed, "Defend yourselves at all times, break clean, obey my commands," the sounds of the arena sharpened. The bell had not yet rung, but already the story was unfolding. The bold champion from England rising to prove he belonged among the elite, and the Russian strategist stepping forward to reaffirm his dominance over the division. What followed would be a symphony of discipline against desperation, technique against determination, and high-stakes brilliance painted across 12 grueling rounds. This was more than a fight. It was a clash of philosophies. A jab merchant versus a tactical maestro. A man fighting to shock the world versus a champion expected to win. The crowd leaned in, cameras tightened, gloves lifted, and then the bell rang. From the very first second, Bivol stepped forward with a level of intent that few expected. His pressure was like an invisible wall closing in around Arthur, cutting off lanes, suffocating space, and forcing the Englishman into survival mode far sooner than he anticipated. Arthur tried to establish the jab that had carried him through so many challenges, flicking it out with rhythm and patience. But Bivol's own jab crashed forward like a piston, sharp, fast, authoritative. It wasn't a rangefinder. It was a weapon, a message. Bivol's feet glided smoothly, stalking without rushing, stepping just inside Arthur's comfort zone and forcing the challenger to backpedal into positions he didn't choose. With every exchange, Bivol showed why his composure is feared. He never wasted a punch, never overreached, never lost balance. Arthur, to his credit, tried everything: shoulder feints, angle changes, a stiff jab down the pipe to keep distance. But the Russian champion kept breaking his rhythm, slipping his jab and landing his own. A hook to the body here, a right hand grazing the chin there, and always the jab, relentless, disciplined, constant. Arthur attempted to smile through the pressure, as if convincing himself that the storm wasn't gathering around him. But the punches were real, and the floor beneath him seemed to slowly tilt toward the ropes. Every time he planted his feet to fire back, Bivol was already gone, already stepping out, already preparing the next layer of pressure. It was not chaos, it was calculation. By the end of the early rounds, one thing was undeniable. Bivol was not merely winning these exchanges, he was shaping the geography of the ring, dictating where Arthur could and could not stand. And Arthur, pushed into a fight on Bivol's terms, was left searching for answers that were becoming harder to find. As the rounds moved into the middle of the fight, Arthur's spirit remained intact, but the physical toll of Bivol's suffocating tempo began to show. The Russian champion continued to build layers onto his dominance. His jab became faster, more piercing, landing on Arthur's guard, forehead, and chest with surgical consistency. Each shot chipped away at Arthur's confidence. For Bivol, this was the part of the fight he loves. The moment when the opponent begins to slow, begins to think too much, begins to reveal the little cracks in timing. Arthur, still determined, tried to vary his rhythm by stepping left, circling out, digging right hands to the body. He had moments, small pockets where he landed a clean counter or timed Bivol with a crisp jab. But every time he found an opening, Bivol took it back immediately with interest. It was a masterclass in momentum control. Bivol's pressure wasn't wild. It was patient, methodical, and designed to drain, not just physically but mentally. Arthur's corner shouted for urgency, for movement, for survival instincts, but the battlefield was shrinking around their fighter. When Bivol doubled the jab and followed with sharp right hands, the crowd gasped. When he pivoted and laced shots from angles Arthur didn't expect, the commentators marveled at his precision. Arthur's guard was tight, but tight wasn't enough. He began absorbing punches on arms, ribs, elbows, small accumulations that turn into big problems. Yet he refused to fold. Even as Bivol targeted him more aggressively, even as each round seemed to slip away, Arthur still fired back, still tried to find timing, still searched for that one breakthrough shot. But Bivol was in complete command, like a grandmaster moving pieces 4 moves ahead, dismantling Arthur bit by bit with a suffocating but beautiful brand of controlled violence. Deep into the championship stretch, Lyndon Arthur showed what champions are truly made of, not with dominance, but with defiance. Though he had lost round after round on the scorecards, he refused to surrender mentally. In round 7, he began stepping into his jab with more authority, turning his shoulders, catching Bivol with subtle counters that drew cheers from the crowd. For the first time in the fight, Bivol acknowledged the power with a slight reset of his feet. Arthur cracked him with a hook upstairs, then ripped a body shot that seemed to briefly bother the Russian champion. That flicker of vulnerability, rare, fleeting, ignited Arthur's corner. He surged forward, trying to build on his momentum. Bivol, for the first time, showed irritation. His eyes narrowed, his guard tightened. Then he responded. With frightening efficiency, Bivol began mixing direction changes, lateral movement, and sudden bursts of combinations. The jab became a hammer. The right hand became a whip. Arthur, despite his bravery, once again found himself smothered by a champion who simply refused to give him any air. Round after round, Bivol's accuracy increased. His punch placement became cruelly deceptive. Feints at the head, hooks to the ribs, uppercuts split through Arthur's guard when he ducked. The Englishman pushed forward with heart, but Bivol pushed back with mastery. Even when Arthur landed his best shots, Bivol's counters were sharper. He snapped Arthur's head back with jabs that sounded like leather slapping wood. He hit him with right hands that sent sweat exploding into the air. And through it all, Arthur kept marching, his face swelling, his breathing labored, but his pride unbroken. It was the story of the rounds. Arthur trying to turn the tide, Bivol calmly, expertly, shutting the door every single time. Then came the moment the entire arena felt coming. The moment Dmitry Bivol shifted from domination to destruction. In round 11, after spending most of the fight headhunting, Bivol changed levels with chilling precision. He dipped, fired a right hand to the body, and instantly Arthur's reaction told the story. His face tightened, his elbows dropped. Bivol saw it. The champion who had been patient all night suddenly became a predator, sensing weakness. He stalked Arthur to the ropes, launched another thunderous body shot, and the effect was immediate. Arthur's legs betrayed him. His breath vanished. His knees dipped into the canvas as pain ripped through his ribs like lightning. The arena erupted. Bivol's corner yelled for composure, not recklessness. They knew the victory was secured, but fighters like Bivol always want more. He surged again with combinations, digging once more to the body, threatening to close the show. Arthur fired back, matching courage with courage, launching hooks even as his legs quivered beneath him. The crowd roared at the bravery on display. Then came the final 10 seconds, the moment every fighter dreams about, the climactic end to a long, punishing night. Both men dug in, both let their hands go, both refused to step back. The bell rang, echoing across an arena that had just witnessed 12 rounds of elite boxing brilliance. And then came the scores, wide, undeniable, unanimous. The announcer raised the microphone as Bivol stood expressionless, gloves resting at his chest, as if he already knew.